is it anywhere?
Hey there, Tamra here, and welcome to the Loft. I have the absolute pleasure of having my beautiful niece, Atia, here with us on this evening. She is from Philadelphia, PA, and we are going to be talking about grief and what it actually means and how unique it is for individuals. And before we begin, I am going to turn it over to her and I'm going to have her introduce herself to you. Uh, it's all you.
Hi guys, how's everybody doing? I hope you're feeling blessed this evening. I am Atia. I have the beautiful pleasure of being the niece of Aunt Tammy. And I am just, man, I'm just a regular girl who has gone through a heck of a lot. And man, God has brought me out of a heck of a lot. And that man, all I can say is that I just thank God for being who He is because, baby, your girl should not be here, but I'm thankful and I'm just blessed and I'm just blessed and that's it.
Amen. And we have some interesting stories to share. We promise. We said we would try to keep it brief because she and I can talk forever. Forever
Ever.
and ever. But first, what I wanted to do is I'm sure that you all probably know what the definition of grief is, but I want to read a little something. And grief is unique. It's unique to who the individual is. Everybody deals with it in a different way. Everybody deals with it. It doesn't long, short. It's just so many different ways that a person uniquely deals with the issue of grief. And we're going to be dealing with some, things that touched us personally, which involve this. And I'm just going to give a brief definition. Grief is the process by which a person adjusts to the physical absence of someone with whom they continue to have a psychological or spiritual relationship with. And interesting enough, grief doesn't even have to really correlate with death. It could be friendships that have ended. It can be losing your community, your people, your squad, missing the certainty that you had, which is pretty much fear, questioning your judgment. It can be releasing who you once were if you're going through a transition or transformation. It could be feeling lost or unanchored through a situation or circumstance and losing traditions that you love, especially if you decide to make a change in your life to get to the next level. It'll be something, like that, you're so used to being one way or used to doing something one way. And then when you decide that you have to make a change, it's just like sometimes it could be difficult because you are stretching yourself and going in a direction that you haven't been before. So you are pretty much doing that thing afraid. But I'm going to stop doing some of this talking because I would love for my niece to share like what her thoughts are in regards to grief and some of the things that she's been through.
Man, oh man. Hear me. So I've been in my aunt's life. Thank you, God, for thank God before my mother passed away. And I didn't know anybody but my mom. It wasn't. I'm one of those people who just kind of stay to her. I stay to myself. You know what I mean? And I don't have a whole bunch of friends. I never had like a whole bunch of friends. And my mother was like that too. She had two friends. It was Aunt Lynn and it was Aunt Sandy, and that was it. And she didn't hang out with them all the time. And sometimes I remember Aunt Lynn getting mad because she wouldn't be around. And that is how I am. I just hung out with my mom. So for 31 years, I just hung out with my mom. And you know, there's so many stories that I can tell y'all and I can say to y'all that would like have y'all understand how deep our relationship was. But I will just give you the sped up version. At the end of the day, my mom was just everything to me. She was my best friend. She was my life. That was my girl. And everyone that was in her life was in some way, shape, or form just as raw as she was. And anybody that she allowed into her circle was just as raw as she was. When my mom had that stroke in my car, I had no idea what was going on. I thought that my mom had stopped drinking. And she was a drug addict, and she stopped doing drugs. She did crack for a very long time. She stopped doing crack. And then when her mother died on my birthday in 2012, she picked up drinking. And I said to myself, man, if my mom died, I ain't gonna never do that. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't doing no crack. I ain't doing no alcohol. I see what it do. I ain't doing it. And then God must have been like this. Yeah, all right. When I take my daughter, I'm gonna take it, and that's it. But she wound up having a brain aneurysm in my car. We were driving to somebody's house, and she just said, you know, I got a headache. And I'm like, my mom don't complain about pain. I didn't understand what was going on. And then next thing you know, she stopped talking to me until I called her name. I think the last time I called her name in the car as I was rushing to the hospital, I called her name one more time. I'm like, Mom, and she just screamed, don't stop calling my name. And I was like, what? Answer me then. Like, you know, I was so frustrated. When I get to the hospital and everybody was in the room, all the family, and everybody came in there. And then the doctor came in, and this is me, because this is Mom and this is God. They came in there and they put us in that big room that they put people in when it ain't right. And I was like, oh Lord, I know it ain't right, but I'm gonna just keep on praying. And they said, your mom ain't gonna make it 3 days. Now, y'all, she made it 3 weeks. I want y'all to know that. But they said she wouldn't make it 3 days. That's but they said she's not gonna make it, and everybody in that room started crying. And I was like, standing in the middle of them, like, I don't know what y'all are crying for, but my mom is not dead. Like, so I'm gonna need y'all to pray, do something else. Like, we're gonna have to do something else. But either or, yes. I'm telling you, up until the day that they said there wasn't nothing they could do, I was still like this, but God. But God said no. She gotta come home because I said so. And people put in my mind, they said, you know, she probably had to come home because maybe if she didn't, she might have backslid and went back to alcohol. She might have backslid and went back to a drug. She might have been, and I, you know, all that is all well and good when you hearing it and it sounds good, and I understand what they're saying, but I ain't care about none of that. It took God at that moment took my heart. He took it, and that was it. I ain't have nothing left. I didn't have nothing left. When they took my mom, I didn't have anything left. When he took my mom, when God took my mom, I didn't have anything left. And I was terrible. And I was terrible. I was a terrible, terrible person. And I thank God for his mercy and his grace, because I didn't know how to keep going. So I attached myself to everybody that my mom was attached to. And I don't know if this is God. See, God is so amazing, and he's so crazy. And it's even just now, just even talking to you, I really feel like, man, like God just be doing stuff. But see, I know God need me to do something the way he need me to do it. And I'm going to have to sit down for a minute and listen. But when he took my mom, I just went on and attached myself to her best friend. I said, oh, well, I'm letting the shoe now. Like, you know, you got to tell me all the stories and keep me. And then he took Aunt Lynn. I said, well, now, wait a minute. I didn't lift myself into my Aunt Lynn, and you're going to take her a year later. Okay, that's all right. That's all right, God. We got another one. Don't worry. Thank you for putting all these women in my life. So I'm gonna just go ahead and me and Aunt Tammy, that's my aunt, that's my auntie mom. And that's that. Then Aunt Tammy said I'm moving. Aunt Tammy said I'm moving to Florida. I said, what? What? God, what are you doing? You know this is affecting me. I picked up every bottle I could and every pill I could and anything that was going to make me not feel none of the foolishness because I didn't understand why God would just keep on ripping my heart out left and right. I'm like, so you just going to keep me about, you know, I'm going to cut up. I didn't cut up so bad and I don't even understand it. I'm like, God, you know the plans. You got them written down in the book. You know what I'm going to do. But as I grew and as I got older and as I started to heal, which took a long time and many mistakes, I realized that I needed to heal properly. I actually realized that I didn't even grieve the way I should. You know what I mean? Like whatever that was the devil. That wasn't grieving. I don't even know what that was because I'm beginning to grieve now, and it's 7 years later. And I'm beginning to really feel the pain, but feeling in a different way, like in a way that I feel like God would want me to feel it because it hurts. It hurts, and it hurt then, and it hurts now, but it hurts with comfort because I know she all right. We the ones that suffering. They good up there. They like
Yep.
y'all the ones down there. Y'all don't need not worry about us. I know y'all miss us down there, but like, and we miss y'all. Like if y'all was up here and y'all had to go to the other side of heaven, yeah, we would miss y'all. Like we don't miss being down there though. No, and I can understand that, but I do recognize that there is no right or wrong way to grieve. Let me just say that. I just know that the way I grieved in the beginning was not what God wanted for me. And that was something that was brought on by something that just wasn't right in the spirits that I was in. I was in an alcoholic state. I was in a pill popping state. I was in a state, whatever state would make me not think about it for as long as it didn't make me think about it. And as the years progressed, I realized, okay, I can't keep on blaming every mistake I make on when my mom died around this time. So that's why I'm acting like this. Because that ain't fair. That make my mom look bad. And then I started learning that, all right, Tia, you gonna have to feel this. I ain't never feel it before because I drank it. I drank it away. You know what I mean? I popped the pill away. I made it go away. However, I needed to make it go away. The pain got too crazy. I said, all right, well, run me the vodka. And that wasn't how I was supposed to do it. And it ain't how really, it's just not how you're supposed to do it. Sometimes the pain that I was making myself feel was 50 times worse than what I'm feeling right now. See, sometimes I can laugh without crying. Sometimes I look at my mom picture and I be like, I think about a moment with her where she would call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and be like, you want a piece of fresh fried fish? It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
She could cook.
Right. What are you doing? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. But now, instead of constantly crying and constantly being in a state of depression and constantly, I look at it now and I be like, okay, so this is really how it's supposed to feel. I'm supposed to be sad, but I ain't supposed to cut up. See, I was just using that as an excuse. Like, yeah, baby, I'm gonna do my thing because it's February and my mom died and she left me on that. But you know, it is tough though. It is tough, and I lashed myself on to people, and man, I remember us talking about the energy, and I would have a bad day at work. And I would call my aunt, y'all, after my bad day. And I would take all of my bad day and I would just be like this. I baby, for hours and hours. And by the time I got done with Aunt Tammy, she would be like this. Okay. You all right? Everything okay? And I'd be like, yes, thank you, Aunt Tammy. And I done released all of my foolishness, all of my bad energy, all of my negative stuff on her. And I felt good afterwards. I was like, whoo, I done got that off my chest. Now my eye is heavy at the house, praying, trying to get it off her. Like, I just realized everything that I did, man. It was just like, grief is a tough, tough thing.
Yes.
Can't nobody tell you how to get through it, and can't nobody tell you how to get over it. And I be admiring some of the strengths that I see, even in you, Aunt Tammy. I was like, because I don't know. I gotta go too. Some take me now, but I really do, man. I be looking. I be like, God, why you ain't? Because I wasn't that strong, man, and that's why I ain't understand. I was like, God, now you knew I wasn't gonna be ready for this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You set up some of these people like soldiers. Aunt Tammy around this joint, like I know she might be around this joint. To us, she look like this, but she might be in the back, like, broke down. But I don't see it. Look like to me, she like this. And I was broke down, throwing myself all on the floor, rolling all around, looking like a little demon child. I don't even know. but man, I do admire when people can. Ooh, there's so many things that I did where I didn't take time. I went right back to work because I thought that was the right thing to do. I was like, nope, I gotta stay busy. I gotta keep moving. I gotta, I gotta work out. I was working out. I would get off of work at 1 o'clock in the morning. I would go to the gym until 5 a.m. And I promise you, I was staying there, and the whole time I was working out. I would never stop. And then I would go home at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would go to sleep until about 10, wake up, take a shower, go back to work. And I kept doing it until it didn't work anymore. When that stopped working, I picked up the bottle. And I said to myself, now this is exactly what my mother did when her mother died. Why would you do the same thing? But I couldn't help it because that pain of losing someone that you love so much, that you need or think you need so much, that was your everything, that was your source of food, life, that just gave you, that just treated you so, man, my mom was the best mother to me. You know what I mean? And so that pain, oh God, that pain is different. It's so different. Losing any, I've never lost any, I lost my grandmom, and it's like, all right, it hurt. And I cried. But when I lost my mom, I lost me. I lost me. And I lost me for a long time. I'm just finding it. I just started digging up. Come on, girl.
And that's it. It's so interesting that you shared that, because I was just sharing that with someone recently, that when we lose loved ones, it's like a piece of you goes with them, especially when, like with my dad, with Lynn, my husband, and then a couple of weeks after that, my niece Asia. It was like that. It was there's nothing. It's just like, and I lost my first son when he was 9 hours old.
I've lost pillars in my life. My Aunt Arlene, my cousin Joyce, again, my cousin Lynn, my dad.
And my mom, but I was so little, I don't recall that. But honestly, let me share something about that with you. There was something missing in my life. I felt it. And as I got older, it's just like I recognized what that was as I went through grieving. It's like you feel that. It's that emotional attachment. It's that spiritual attachment that you have with these people. And they were all pillars in my life. And my husband, I can't even begin to explain. Well, I'm just talking to our guests. I'm just talking to our audience, because there was nothing like it. And it's no one but the grace of God that got me through. And it's getting me through that. And that's what I'm learning. Grief is consistent. We can't put a timeline on it. we can only feel better each day, each month, each year. And it's just like, and it's nobody but the Lord that gives, I know me personally, and like you share with me, the strength to get through that. And you have to face it and you have to acknowledge it. And then you have, they say that there's 5 stages of grief: the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, the acceptance. Yes, some of that is true to a point when you want to put it down and you want to put like a textbook, in textbook content. But like, as you and I both know, and as I know several other people who are listening know, it's just like everybody is different. Sometimes you skip over all of them. Sometimes you don't, you bury it. It's just like you can't pinpoint what is going to happen until it happens. It's just like, but I know how I've gotten through, and it's just like by calling on my father and acknowledging it and speaking about it, talking about it, um, and just having an understanding. I don't point the finger or anything like that, because he had an enlarged heart, so he had heart issues. And it's just like, and then the time came when, the Lord decided to take him home. And it hurts every day. Every day I think about it, it still hurts. But each day it does get easier. It's just like each day I have more understanding. And just like we shared, everybody has an isolated situation. Everybody isn't going to feel like that. There's a difference between grief and mourning too. I'm learning, like when I'm looking through the different things, it's like you mourn and you grieve, and grief is just a whole different thing within itself that I was seeing. It's just like, grief is a healing process. And like I shared earlier, it's in so many different things. Like it's a relationship, it's in moving, it's in so many different things. It's like it's as unique as an individual is. That's what grief is. It's
See, I'm sorry.
that's the
So you said, like, for you, like, and a lot of people say this. A lot of people say this. They say it gets easier. It gets easier with each day. And I know it's different for everybody, but
right.
everybody that I always talk to, they always say it gets easier. And for me, it
Mm-hmm.
never got easier. I just
Mm-hmm.
learned how to live with the pain.
I like
And
that.
that's what it is. I mean, for me, because
Mhm.
as a woman, there were things that my mother missed. So when she died, it was like, all right, she passed away. It's
Mhm.
supposed to get better with time, but things kept on happening in my life. My brother
Right.
got married. I was in the hospital. She was in a coma. My brother had a baby. She was gone. My brother had another baby. She was gone. I got married. She was gone. My brother had another baby. She was gone. And
Mhm.
I was trying to have a baby. She was gone. And every time you level up,
Right.
the number one person, your number one fan, your number one girl. Even though I know God is everything, and He right
Right.
there, going. But the person, your fleshy heart
Yeah.
is gone. It didn't get easier for me, man. I just learned, and I'm
To live
learning
with. Right.
to live with the pain.
Right.
That's what it is for me. I can't say it got easier because
Right.
I miss that lady, man.
And it's like,
I miss her body. You know what I mean?
yes, yes. And I
And like,
empathize. Uh,
I'm listening.
yeah, no, I empathize with exactly what you're saying when it comes to, it's just like I said, it's unique. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, and I know a lot of people that I've shared, they ask me the question, how are you doing? Does it get easier? And I think when I say it gets easier, that's the best way I can describe the peace that I feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a peace. And I know where that peace is coming from because God knows me and what I can handle and what I can't handle. So when I say it gets easier, the process gets easier for me to handle and be able to communicate and to be able to move on with different
Mm-hmm.
things. But it doesn't negate the fact that it still hurts.
Right.
and that I
Right.
still cry, and that you still feel it. It could be, we don't know, it could be out of nowhere. You'll be looking at something. I had a friend come over one time, and I was talking and I was laughing, and then all of a sudden I started crying because I was thinking,
Yes.
where did
Yes.
this come
Yes.
from? Because it was just so heavy on my heart, that feeling, that overwhelming feeling. Because it, like I said, it's like when these people leave us, it's like a part of them is gone, a part of you is gone. And it's just, it's so deep, the way that grief manifests itself in so many different people in so many different situations. And I know each day I do have to stay prayerful about it, and each day is just like, and I don't want to forget him. And I think that's a lot of it too. It's just like, yes, we move on, but we never forget them. They are
And
always there. They're always a part of our lives.
when you
You
stop
know what I
feeling
mean?
they touch and you stop feeling they, I for the longest I could feel how my mom's hand felt rubbing my knee. That
Yeah.
thing went away. I was like, hold up. Then I couldn't hear her voice no more. I was like, wait a minute. I need a video. I gotta bring it up. You know what I mean? Like I had to do something. You know what else gave me peace though? I will say this, and this was nobody but God, because he had to bring me down somehow, because I was ready to jump off the cliff in any second. But my mom is my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I was living inside of her for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
pieces of her had to come in me to
Mm-hmm.
make me. So I know that my mother is me and I am her. You know what I mean? She made me. She not created me, but
I
she
got
made
you.
me from her. And so when I started to think about that, God
Mm-hmm.
gave me that in a moment of a very, very low. I was low. I was at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom. And God said, she made you. When I
Mm-hmm.
think about all the tests that I went through to try to have my own child, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that they had to take an egg out of me
Mm-hmm.
and put it with my husband's sperms to create outside. But my
Mm-hmm.
mother did that with my dad inside of her. And I was in there for 9 months, and she rubbed me and she heard my heartbeat. And
Mm-hmm.
all of that came from her and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to realize that my mother is in me. She
Mm-hmm.
is a part of me in that way. And that gave me some peace, because
Mm-hmm.
she's not really gone. I got a piece of her. My brother is a piece of her. And every
Mm-hmm.
time we birth a baby, they a piece of her, and they a piece of her,
Mm-hmm.
and they a piece of her. And that was started to help me. And also the fact that she ain't in pain no more, and she's not hurting no
Yes,
more.
that's the big one. That's the big one.
Big one, because she was in a coma for those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Even like I said, just thinking about Uncle Bobby, I had I have pictures, and it really, and not even trying to take away from you, but man, when you told me that, I was just like, Lord, what in the devil is going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna need you to explain to me this. I don't know. Do I gotta shut up? For how long do you need me to be quiet before you tell me what is going on? What are we supposed to be doing? Because I am doing things a little bit different and moving differently, and not drinking and not popping myself to death.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting down for a second looking at God like, all right, Lord, here I am. Give it to me, because I need to know. I need to know what's going on. What do you need for me to do? Because clearly you got to be coming back any minute now. Because you is taking everything, and you need to be. Tell me what I need to do. I had to start. Tammy, I had to start moving totally different, doing things totally different. Because I know he's talking to me, and I'm just ignoring them, doing what I want to do, and trying to block out all the stuff that he wanted me to do. No, Lord, I ain't trying to do that. But you got to be doing something, because when Uncle Bobby and you called me and said that, I was like, I don't even know if I can not deal with the fact that I ain't going to hear so many bones. And that's the insider between us, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know, but I don't
So
know
many bones.
and that was our I just was like, what you know how many special times God, and you know what else bothers me? When God moves the way he moves,
Uh-huh.
I be so confused. And not confused. I'm sorry. I don't be confused. I don't want to say that. I'm gonna take that word back. I be so like, really, really, God. What now? I know that you got a reason for it, but I'm gonna need you to make me understand because I tried to understand why he took my mom,
Right.
and then somebody tried to make me understand it. Then when Aunt Lynn passed away, she was in all that pain, went through all that stuff, and I had to tell. I remember telling Pastor Celeste like, I think that we had to see this in order for us to let her go. Because see, God, I feel like was ready, but we wasn't. We all praying her to stay. Lord,
Right.
heal her. God, please fix her, bring her back. God, like, okay, let me. Okay, so y'all want her to keep on staying like this, in this much pain and this much. She's in pain. Bones are breaking inside of her. Things are happening to her. You know what I mean? So how long when you want her to come home to me, where I'm gonna make everything all right? And I had to start thinking about every moment like that. When Uncle Bobby passed, I said, "Now, what the devil is this? Timmy is such a nice person. Why, God? Why would you?" And that's how my mind go. My mind be like, "My mom just got off of alcohol and drugs, and she's been clean for a year. Why you take her? I love the Lord. What's going on, God? Like, why they couldn't bless the earth for a little bit longer?" I start feeling that's the anger part of it, I guess. I be like, because you know you try not to be, and you ain't really supposed to be angry at God. I ain't gonna never say I be angry at you, Lord. I'm gonna just be like,
you clean that up real quick.
I ain't gonna never say that. No, but you know, it is like that's the real and raw in me, man. People ask me all the time, like, you'll never get mad at God, and man, I can't say I ain't going to just blatantly be like, heck yeah, I get mad at God, but I do. I be mad sometimes. But I also know that God is it. He is for me, and I don't care how many times I get mad at my dad all the time. I got mad at my mama too. Like, but
And I always tell you that your transparency and you're honest with him because he already knows. How about that? He already knows how we're feeling. He already knows. And I think a lot of the other reason why I was able to get through is because I'm so thankful for the foundation. Because my foundation has been Christ. My foundation has been him forever. You know what I mean? And and as you build on that relationship and you really, enter into it and understand it, I'm not saying that it makes it easier, but
I get it.
it makes you understand and it gives you this ability to be able to walk through it. And everybody has questions. We always be asking questions. I know they say you shouldn't ask, but and I think he's okay with us asking questions. That's my opinion. And
I got to ask this.
yeah. And it's just like, what'd you say?
I was like, I need to know why. I know we ain't supposed to question you, but why, God? You know I'm one of them rebel children. You know who you get. You know who you brought here. Now you need to come on, give me something. I be needing to know. But God,
I know.
I can't nobody tell me that he ain't real, and can't nobody tell. I done some stuff. I done been through some stuff. Man, it ain't nothing that anybody in this world has done minus murder, because I ain't killed nobody. But or do any kind of nothing. Listen, I done did some stuff, and I know that God is real. I know that God is real for so many reasons. There is no way on earth that I should still be here. After my mom died, Tammy, when I tell you that I would get a supply of 120 Percocets. 10 milligram Percocets, and I would take 60 of these 120 over a weekend.
Wow.
60. Sometimes I would be in the days, like, sometimes I would be just laying there, can't feel my face, and I would drink a fifth of alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
bottle of alcohol every day, if not more. And I did that for months, for years, but for as long as I felt like it was working until that DUI came, and I was like, man, wait. And this is literally just in this last year that God woke my behind up, snatched me right on up, brought me all the way as far to the ground as not, and he didn't do it, but I had to be all the way on the ground. And sometimes I don't even think I was low enough, because see, baby, I still be trying to go to the left, and God be like, get your behind, get back over here. I keep telling you, but I had to go so low that I ain't have no other choice but to say, God, help me now. I need you right now. And I know God knows that I ain't going nowhere but to him. I don't care who say what. People try to make me change my God and do all kind of stuff that don't make sense. And I'll be like, none of that makes sense. I know that Jesus is God's son, and ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing different. So I can't deal with it. But I got that DUI last year. This year, but last year, February of 2023, February 2023. I got that DUI on February 5th. My mom had the stroke in my car on February 8th of 2017. That whole time that I was going through that DUI stuff, when the cops pulled me over, they arrested me, they put the handcuffs on me, they put me in the back of the car, they took me to the police station, they handcuffed me to a bench, they didn't let me leave, they took all of my stuff, and I had to call my husband to come pick me up. It was the most embarrassing. I was so ashamed of myself, and I mean, obviously the shame got worse, and you already know, but I was so ashamed of myself in that moment, and I still ain't had it together. And God said, and I ain't gonna say God said, I'm gonna say that I said to myself, I'm gonna have to take myself lower before I call on the Lord, because I can't keep on asking God for forgiveness for the stuff I be doing. And my mom, he shouldn't have took my mom, because why would he do that? I wasn't ready for that. Like, but I had to, this ain't about you, girl. Why are you so thinking it's about you? It's not about me. It wasn't about me. It ain't got nothing to do with us. We come on this earth and we forget that. Well, we don't forget. Maybe we just wasn't taught right. But God brought us here. We on a mission. We gotta do stuff, and it ain't got nothing to do with the person that brought. I mean, yeah, they made, they helped create and bring. But God put everybody on this earth, and we got missions that he needs for us to complete. We got souls that we need to get to him. And all these people that we worried about, God like, bruh, whatever. You mad, you can stay mad. Hurry up. I need you to hurry up and get it together so that you can complete the mission that I got for you, so I can bring you up here. Or else you can go down there. I mean, what you want to do? You know what I mean? Like, what's up? What you want to do? And that's what I had to really, that's what woke me up. That's what has me dealing with the grieving process better. I cry still. I still hurt. But I know that the reason I am still on this earth is because I ain't finished what God got for me, what he want me to do.
That's the truth.
They completed theirs. And that's why they gone on with the Lord. And I realized that because I know why I've been placed in certain people's lives. I know why I've been placed in certain situations. Sometimes I don't want to see it. But man, that's our Father sets things up and does things in such a way, and we don't even understand it until it starts happening, and we be like, "Oh, but
right."
That's why he did that. You know what I mean? Like, even though we might not like it in the beginning, but that's why he did it.
Yep, he's good for showing us and good for giving us revelation as to the why. I know we question And we don't get the answers when we want him to, but he is always on time with the revelation. He's always on time because he knows when we're ready to receive that truth. He knows when we're ready to get that understanding. We need to be in a certain spot. It's just like this life is such a journey, and we go through so many different stages in it. And we are growing continuously, learning something new every single day about ourselves, how we can sustain things, what we can handle, what we can't handle, what we need to give to him to handle. And so he knows. That's all I have to say is he knows his timing is right, and I'm a living witness of it with things that have happened in my life. That's the best way that I can say it. Everybody is different. Everyone is unique. Everyone has a different experience. But my experience is my experience, and your experience is your experience. And that's what we're here to do, is to share experiences. Some people, it may sound similar or familiar or be like, oh my gosh, I went through that too. Some people it may not. Some people, and that's just the way we are designed. We're different.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
I know that's right. I had to. I'm telling you, I'm if people don't understand, man, why it took me. Man, it just took me a long time. It really took me a long time to not look at certain things and be like judging it or where I had to go through a whole bunch of stuff for me to be like this. Hold up. Let's see why you ain't no saint, girl. Sit down. You might not be able to understand what they're going through, but they got their own path and they gotta go ahead and you gotta do the same thing when you get up there. People just we go through, we really do. We all go through things differently, and this what you're doing and how it's being presented and how it's being displayed, man, it's going to touch the people like me who are the raw, the real, and just want to see for once somebody be honest. Y'all, come on. Y'all telling me that you ain't never mad. You telling me that you ain't never hurt, and you telling me that you ain't never say, forget this, I'm about to pick up this bottle of wine and do this, or come on, you tell me you ain't never think I should go and somebody ain't never hurt you so bad where you just want to not turn the other cheek. Like, come on. This is why my energy is the way it is. I can't even be myself around people that's fake, around people that pretend, if you give me one inkling and I already know the type of person that it is because my body will react. It'll clam right on up. It stopped talking. I stop talking. I get real uncomfortable. I start not acting like myself. As soon as I get uncomfortable and I ain't like this, I gotta go. I can't, because I am honest. I love the Lord with all my heart. I love Jesus with all my heart. And I thank God for his mercy and his grace. And I thank him for being able to love a person like me. Because, man, he knows that I am a lot. But when people act like, you ain't supposed to make no mistakes because you love the Lord. Ain't you Christian? Wasn't you in church the other day? Whoa.
I know. And what does the word say? He without sin cast the first stone. People just don't realize it. Sometimes I want to ask them, why don't you go back and read your word, then come back to me and see if you still judge me once you get that revelation.
And they don't know. And that's why I am the way. That's why I am the way I. Yep.
Are you reading? Do you understand? Are you comprehending what you're reading? Do you get that revelation?
Did you read the whole thing? And they don't. They don't do it, and that's the sad part, and that's why I know that's why God made me who I am, and now I got a whole different attitude. I talk to these little young women, and it's so funny that I call them young women now because oh my God, the ages keep just rising. It ain't stopping. It keep going up every year, go faster and faster. But I'm talking to these women in a different way. I'm talking to men in a different way, man. The way words come off of my tongue now is just totally different. And
Right.
it can't be nobody but God. And it's not about the Bible. It's about life. It's just about life. It's just about how you handle certain situations. Pain. People call me because they lost their mom. And I'll be like, y'all calling me? Oh Lord, that means, Lord, I know what that means.
Because yeah, 'cause you're empathetic towards it. You understand it. So you're able to minister them. And you know what? This whole thing, it helps us to heal when we're talking about it and when we can help somebody else. That's the whole purpose. It's like when you can help somebody else and talk to them, it helps you heal too. Not a selfish thing, but just a positive thing. It's like you've been designed, you went through something, because our lives are not our own. It's just like we go through so many things to be able to help the next person. And when we do help those people, it's like we're healed in the process. And I noticed that. And it's how many times I'm able to talk about it or help somebody through it or let them know that I do understand, it gives me a greater understanding. And it's just like, can you really feel what that person feels? And let me tell you something about you before we close, because we can be on here until midnight. That'll be a no. That's a no. That's a hard no.
Not tonight.
But with you have grown leaps and bounds. And the Lord has his hand on you. And I've told you that from the door.
My neck.
Yes, sometimes you are his rebel child. That I do see, and I do understand. But he loves you, and the abundance of grace and peace and mercy that he continuously endrapes you with, you can see, because you may fall, but I'm proud of you for getting back up constantly and really working towards that mark. Each time you went down, you've got up stronger. And you've helped someone, or you are, you're wiser in that situation, and you don't want to go backwards. And it's like, and you recognize people that you can help. And it's just like, you are a piece of that puzzle that I talk about. You are anointed to speak to different people. You have a completely different audience that you'll be able to tap into and that you'll be able to minister to, because of who you are and what you've experienced and what you've gone through. You'll be able to relate. And it's like, you're only going to get better from here. That's all you've been doing, is each time you just get better. You have grown leaps and bounds, my dear. I have seen it firsthand, and I'm proud of you. And you've been through war. You've been through some things. And it's like, and I know you, and no, we're not sharing it, but I know she would be quick to do it. So I'm just going to stop that. No,
Wait, listen, it's some things that the Lord said, sit down, girl. You share, but don't share too much. Shut up.
Yeah,
sometimes.
You gotta protect yourself.
God told me to shut up sometimes. I know when he want me to shut up sometimes. But with you saying that, and I'll stop after this, but I do want to say though, when I fall sometimes, and you said that I get back up stronger, and I do see that later. But that first get up, it don't feel like strong. It feel like, the weakest. I feel like the most weakest link ever in the world. Every single time I go down, and I got to get back up and be like, all right, God. All right. Well, let's try this one more time. I even told God the other day, I said, God, if you just do this one thing for me, never mind, scratch that. I ain't going to tell you that I ain't going to ask you for nothing else, because I'm lying. I'm going to keep asking you for stuff. I also need you to do this now, please. But when I fall, though, when I get back up, it don't feel like I'm getting back up stronger until way later.
Yeah.
The way I talk now, and the way I talk now, and I thank God for it. I thank God, and I ask him every day, please, God, just keep making me better, because you know me. and you know I'm going to do something. And sometimes I even be saying, and I don't want to, but sometimes I even be saying when I be doing real good for like a long streak, I be like, God, come on, you ain't ready for me yet. It's a good streak. You don't want to. He be like, girl, go on, get out my face and do what I said. But yeah, it don't feel like that at first. And people, I just want everybody to understand that the one thing that I know that people do is they say, oh, I didn't went through all of this and I didn't did all of this stuff and God ain't gonna forgive me. He ain't gonna forgive me. And I feel that. I felt that. Even when my mom passed away, I had did so much to so many people and even to myself that I almost barely, some of the things that I've done, I can't even really forgive myself. And God is like, so I just want to encourage people to, talk to God and talk to him just like this. I ain't say, oh, in the name of Jesus, Father, and the Lord, and I said, talk to him just like this. God, excuse me, please, I need you to hear me. And I talk to God like I'm talking to my friend because I need for him to understand that, man, you know what you made, but don't never stop asking God the forgiveness no matter how bad you feel about it. And I don't know why I'm just telling you to say this, but I am telling you guys out there, if you ever feeling down, if you ever feeling at your lowest moment, if you ever feeling like God ain't forgiving you, if you ever feel like God can't hear you, he can. And sometimes we can't hear him talking back because we too busy screaming, telling him that we can't, he can't hear us.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet for a minute and just ask him to forgive you, ask him to open up your ears and just ask for forgiveness and always ask for forgiveness and then start over again. And never be ashamed or too down or too proud or too, I can't do it because he ain't going to forgive me, to go up and look to him and say that because for whatever reason, God loves us so much. And I ain't going to say for whatever reason because we as children and that's what parents do. So.
Amen.
Grab at him.
That is did I even ask you for a word of inspiration? Because I said you just did it. You just
No, I just went on and gave that because
that was perfect. I said you saved me a line.
Listen, I've been told that by my Aunt Brenda, and my mother was always afraid to ask for forgiveness when she would backslide on drugs or alcohol or sex, whatever it was. She would just be like, no, God ain't gonna forgive me for that. My aunt always used to put that in my ear when she passed away, like, don't do that. Go to him. And I was doing it. I was like, God ain't going, man, this is too much. God is like sick of my crap. Ain't no way. But man, I somehow, he bring me so, I be to my knees so bad that I ain't got no choice but to be like this. Now, Lord, forgive me. Come get me right now. So yes, please be encouraged.
He is in the forgiving game. That is what he does.
Thank you, Jesus, because we is down here doing woo. We down here cutting up. But no, just be encouraged and keep on going and just keep talking to God no matter what. Just I don't care what you do. Talk. Tell him to come get you.
Well, Atia, I thank you, darling. It is always an absolute pleasure talking to you. You keep me entertained all the time.
It was a pleasure being here. I appreciate you for having me.
And I thank you and I love you for your transparency. I appreciate that. You sharing with everyone. I said, because it takes a lot. And that's what I'm saying. You really have grown leaps and bounds. And it's just like, I'm proud of you. And I tell you that. And it's just like, and I appreciate and love you much. And I would thank you, darling. I said,
I can't wait to see you.
That concludes our show for tonight. And in the meantime, remember to hold on to that dream and with unwavering faith, live it. Bye-bye for now.